Well, it's a cold, cloudy, clammy day in paradise, which is the perfect time for me to sit outside and work on a video. And a couple were really popular. The 10 low-cost ideas for an A-liner or A-frame camper. I did part 1 and then I did part 2. Well, guess what? It's going to be a trilogy. So here's part 3. Even more low-cost ideas for your A-liner or trailer. Enjoy! So I've got to warn you, warning, these ideas may contain tools, but don't be scared, they're still pretty easy. It's just that I can't zip them off at a minute each. It probably is going to be a little longer, but I think you'll find them useful. So give it a go, and I'll put some easy ones in as well. Well, here's something that used to happen to me quite a lot. In cold weather, I'd go to lift the jack on my trailer and I'd find out the foot is stuck to it. And I mean really stuck. Not even a kick gets it off. End up having to use a mallet. The problem is the water has seeped in overnight and froze. And it's also rusting the end of my jack. The solution? Drill holes in the foot so the water just drains right out. No more frozen foot. Here's another cool thing I found. This LED solar light. It's meant to go on the gutter of your house just to light the side, but I found out if you just take the clamp and you just bend it a little, about 45 degrees, and just put a little bit of rubber inside, you can do this with it. That way you've got a light for your entrance way. You just need a little sun, and by evening it'll be on automatically, free energy. The light usually stays on about 3 to 4 hours after dark. Please check my video description for an Amazon link to this item. Like most A-liners, mine came with a holding tank for water. This is very useful if you have water hookups like in an RV park, but the problem is I boondock almost exclusively and never used it. Although it says it's not a storage compartment, I wish it was. After removing the holding strap, I loosened the hose clamps on the side. Underneath the trailer is the drain valve that is secured by a massive amount of caulking, which I had to chisel out. Finally, I could lift it out. You hear the water? It's been in there for years. Yeah, it's a little bit messy under there, and I had a hole to fill in as well. But look at the space I was going to gain. I just used plastic from a cutting board and a few wood screws to make a plug, and then attached it from underneath. Now I can store lots more stuff, especially things I don't need all the time. Plus jugs of water, which I can easily fill up anywhere. And remember the sign that says it was not a storage compartment? Well, it is now. A frequent issue I had with my kitchen counter is that it would work itself loose while traveling and not be secured at all. The problem was inadequate bracing and cheap particle board with screws that would literally fall right out. The solution? Larger and better braces and coarser threaded wood screws. I used Hillman braces with 3 times the holding power. Removing the original brackets was a challenge, especially the ones behind the sink. But once I removed the sink, it was pretty easy to access. I also had to remove the cooler to gain access for underneath. Once I got all the brackets out, I could also move the countertop. After positioning the new braces, I added some wood glue to further secure the joints. I've been on some pretty rough roads since then, and the counter has been rock solid. Most A-liners have either 5 or 7-way trailer connections to their tow vehicle, and this is what mine normally looks like. But this is what it looks like after you've dragged it down the highway for 3 hours as it bumped itself off of the socket and tickled the concrete. Solution? Those handy little Velcro straps you buy at dollar stores. After connecting the two ends together, further secure the hold down tab with the elastic strap. So I don't lose it, I put the strap around my jack post when not in use. Something that's been a real sore point in this trailer is sometimes I'll come in, I didn't put the step down because I'm in a hurry and I want something over there, and I'll come in and I'll go like this. And that puts my shin in direct contact with this metal strip that's sticking up. Not only that, but when I'm sweeping out the floor and I come to this point, then it always gets stuck here. I'm not really sweeping out, I'm sweeping into this ridge. I kind of wish it wasn't there, and guess what? It's not going to be, because I'm getting rid of it. The inside of the lip had attached a grungy wooden strip, while the outside had neoprene weather stripping. I removed the wood strip with a flat-headed screwdriver. See how grungy it was in there? I just used a metal scraper to take off the weather stripping. But now it was time for my trusty metal nibbler. Add a little caffeine and it makes things go quicker. For the corners, I had to use tin snips. One more pass with the nibbler, and then I could use a flat file to take off what remained. A small angled file took off the sharp edges. And to make sure I had a smooth, watertight seal, I mixed some 5-minute epoxy and applied it along the edge. Then smoothed it out with my finger. So some smart cookie's going to say, well, you shouldn't have removed that inside lip because it's preventing water from coming into the trailer from outside during a storm or through travel or whatever. And you're right, which is why I bought some 16th inch by 1.5 inch strip of aluminum, which I'm going to put on the outside of the door. And I've got my trusty drill and my riveting tool to help me out. So this time I had a double espresso to really make things go quickly. Here we go. So there's 2 tests for this. One is the dirt test. Goes out easy enough. Now the painful knee test. I'm still alive, no pain. It's a winner. By my entrance is a little storage space under my bed. This would be really handy if only I could access it. The problem is the lid, which opens up, prevents you from seeing what's inside, as well as blocking the entrance. It also doesn't stay up by itself. Solution: remove the hinges and repurpose them. My goal was to turn the hinges into keyhole slots for the sides. So into the vise they go. Using a hacksaw, I cut off the outer tabs of the hinges. After flattening the hook on the end, I drilled new screw holes on each hinge. Here I drilled a larger hole to accommodate the head of the screw. Next came the slots for the keyholes. A little filing was needed to make them straight and smooth for the screws that would be actually holding the door in place. I positioned the plates about 4 inches from the top. To keep them flush, I carved out channels with a chisel, and as the so-called wood was just like pressed cardboard, this was really easy. Once you install the plates, you can line them up with the storage entrance and just mark the locations. The last step is to install 2 round-headed wood screws. To use it, you just lift up, open it up, get your stuff, line it up, and back it goes. Easy. Better access, and the door is never in the way. So at this point you're probably tired of all my little suggestions, which take a lot of effort and tools and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you a couple of really easy ones at the end. The first one is this, which looks like a cushion, and it actually makes a really good cushion. But what it is an electric blanket or a travel blanket. Why would you need one of these? Well, because if you're a boondocker like me, you tend to go into spots where there's no way to plug in and there's no heating. You can rely on your furnace or you can rely on your sleeping bag. But because when it gets super cold and it takes a lot of energy, why heat up your entire trailer? Why not just heat up yourself? So that's why I've got an electric blanket. And the other reason is because I go stealth sometimes and it gets cold at night, I can't use my furnace even if I wanted to. So this is compact. You just put it right inside your sleeping bag and I just sleep on it. It heats up the inside of my sleeping bag and it's great. 12 volts, it just plugs into a cigarette lighter. You can easily get an adapter or even run it from your tow vehicle if you want to and use that battery. So it's very easy to use. The other thing is, although they go from a range from about 4 to 7 amps, I believe that's what I've seen online. This one I measured and it actually does about 2.5 amps. So 2.5 amps over, let's say, 8 to 10 hours is not too bad a drain on your battery. It's about the equivalent of what I use in my cooler. And if it's cold enough, I don't need the cooler, so I'm not using power for that. So you can use it off your 12 volt battery. Obviously you're not going to use it off direct solar because if it's hot enough, well, actually, you know what, you could, but chances are you're going to use it at night. Now, if you want to be really, really stingy on power, you just take your clothes that you're going to wear the next day, because you're all bundled up in your sleeping bag, and you wrap your clothes in there. About 20 minutes, they'll be nice and toasty, and you can get out of bed with nice warm clothes. Now, how's that for thrifty? One item that comes really handy is a mesh shower caddy. I bought this for about $6 at a Walmart. Not only is it great for my pop-up shower, but it also dries really quickly and is washable. And if you have a curtain rod across your top, You can use it for keeping things off the counters, like spices and condiments. Nice thing is it also folds flat and fits into a drawer not in use. Perfect for a fold-up trailer. So the last one is one I thought everybody knew about, but I was surprised when people see me when I'm camping using it, and they're absolutely amazed and they want to know where I got it. So what it's about is putting your stabilizers up and down. Usually you get something like this to hand crank them, which if you've got 4 stabilizers like I do, it can be a bit of a hassle, and these things always catch with other tools when I put it away. However, you can get a 3/4 inch hex that goes to a drill. These are really cheap, and I'll give you a link, but you put that in, put it on your hex, and you're done. Now that's easy. Well, I hope you found some of those ideas useful, and not to worry, I got lots more to come. But for me, it's just catching a few rays today and thinking about all that snow that I'm not shoveling.